In this short video, we're going to talk about some basic uh, s- of the formulas as well as different cell references. You can use the formulas in Excel to convey calculation in a time-saving and meaningful fashion. What it means that you create a formula, allow the Excel to do the calculation for you. Let's just start with entering a basic formula. To enter the basic formula, in this case, let's look at our basic data is in here. We are going to calculate the amount to be financed for some mortgages. Column B shows the cost of the house. Column C shows the amount of the uh, down payment. Now we want to calculate how much we are going to finance for each of these loans. To do so, we need to take the cost of the house minus the down payment. That's the amount being financed. We start creating a formula by typing equal sign. That tells Excel that what follows is a formula. So you click equal, you type equal, then you click on a first cell that contains the data, your first data, in this case cost of the house, D8, minus down payment, which is C8. You hit enter, that does the calculation for you. The formula is B8 minus C8 has been calculated, and now the $320,000 going to be financed for this house, and this is a loan number. We need to do it for rest of these loans. We can basically do the same thing, type in the formula each in here, here, and so on. These are only 5 loans, but if you have 20, 30, 100 you want to calculate, you don't want to repeat the same formulas. You want Excel help you to expedite that function for you. We use the copy feature in Excel to copy the formulas. To do so, there are a number of the ways to do the formulas. You can do the copy, you can do the copy and paste, and so on. Or you can double click, and then it creates the handle. We can grab the handle, putting it down. This will calculate copy the formulas down for you. Or another way, lots of my students prefer that because it gives you total control of a key movement. So click on the first cell, hold on the shift key, down arrow key until you shade the area you want to copy the formulas. Then you hold on the control, and since it's going down, you hold on the control, in the same time click on D for down. It will copy the formula down for you. If you examine each row now, you'll see that formula has been copied and has been changed to a new location, row 10, row 11, and so on. All of these refer to, they are relative references. References to the date, a cell, and relative because it's relative to a location, rows and column. The next thing we want to calculate in here is we want to calculate the rate per period. As you can see in here that there is number of the payment per year is 12. This is annual percentage rate. We want to calculate what is the monthly percentage rate. To do so, you start with the equal sign again. We click on a cell reference, in this case is the E8, and it's 12 months, so we divide that by 12. You hit enter, it will calculate that, and this is the monthly percentage rate. We want to do the same thing for the rest of them, so we'll do the exact same thing. You copy that one down, and you will see that the E9, E8 has been changed to E9, E10, and so on and so forth. 12, it doesn't change because it's the actual data. We have used the data rather than a cell reference to calculate these percentages. In Excel, when you create a formula, you want to make formulas as automated as possible. It means that rather than using the actual number or actual data, use the cell references. So rather than using 12, which is this number in here, let's use the cell reference on B5. So we'll delete the 12, and we enter B5. B5, which is this particular one. We hit enter, we'll get the same result. It's the same thing as it was the 12th. Now let's do the same thing as we did, copy the formula down. See what happens. Well, we have error. What it means that if you look at it, that B5 has changed to B6. There is nothing on B6 or B7 and so on, because this particular one doesn't change. The location doesn't change. It's not relative. This is absolute location. This type of a data referred to as absolute cell, which in Excel we refer to them as we need to identify them with reference them to be absolute cell reference. What it means that how to identify this particular one to Excel, that this B5 should not change. To prevent that from changing as you copy, you identify that by adding a $ before the column and $ before the row. You hit the enter, we still have the same thing. Calculated the same thing. This divided by this. And this identify to Excel, this is absolute cell reference. Means when you copy, this part of the formula always stays constant, doesn't change. This is the part is relative, so that will change. So let's do the same thing as we did before. Let's copy that down. See what happened. Voila. All these has been calculated correctly, and as you examine that, you will see that E8 changed to E9, E10, so on, but absolute cell has not changed, constantly stayed at B5. Therefore, your formula is working just fine. Why we want to use the absolute versus just a solid number? As I mentioned that before, you want to make this one to be as automated as possible. All of these loans are on 12 payment per year. Let's say they want to do a 24 payment. If we didn't have the absolute in here, if you change the number in here, nothing will affect in here, because it's referencing if it was a solid number. So if we change the 12 to 24 here before that, let's look at it. Let's do that again. We put 12 in here. Still the same number is correct, is doing it fine. Let's do the same thing in here. With 12 goes fine. And we can do the same rest of them, but I'm going to leave this one to show you the difference. So in this case is, now we're going to go in and change this particular one to 24. We hit enter. See what happened is, this one didn't change. It's still dividing it by 12. This one didn't change either. It's still dividing it by 12. But here, this has been recalculated because it's using a reference to the cell, and its absolute reference when you copy it didn't change. And the other advantage is when I change this one, this got recalculated. Let's look at this one. Let's this one change it to 18. These three recalculated because they are using the references. This didn't change, this didn't change. So let's change this one back. And you can see this got changed. Go back. If you look at this area, as soon as I change this, when I hit enter, look at that column F, everything gets recalculated again. That's the beauty of using a formulas, using a references. In this case, we have used a combination of relative and absolute set references.